Namaste, welcome, and aloha. Welcome to verse 1.1.3. The ripened fruit of knowledge, the sweetness of spiritual realization. This verse contains one of the most beautiful metaphors in all of Vedic literature, titled The Ripened Fruit of Knowledge. It describes the Bhagavatam as the sweet, nourishing fruit of the wish fulfilling tree of Vedic wisdom. And we are invited to drink this nectar again and again until we are fully satisfied. Let us taste this verse together. First, let me recite the verse in its original Sanskrit form. Nigam kalpatarorgalitan phalam. Shukmukadamrita dravasayutam. Pibat bhagavatan rasmalayam. Muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavuka. Even the sound of these words carries a certain sweetness. Now let us understand their meaning. Now, let us go through the raw form of English translation of the verse. The translation. This Srimad Bhagavatam is the fully ripened fruit of the desired tree of Vedic knowledge, made even more tasteful by the nectar flowing from the mouth of Shukadeva Gosvami. O thoughtful and expert devotees on this earth, drink this spiritual essence repeatedly until you are fully absorbed in it. What a beautiful invitation. Let us explore what it means. Now, let us look at some core teaching of this verse. The core teaching of this verse is expressed through a perfect metaphor. The Vedic literature is compared to a kalpataru, a wish fulfilling tree, a tree that can satisfy all desires. But the Bhagavatam is not just any part of that tree, it is the ripened fruit galita phalam. Think about what that means. A tree has roots, trunk, branches, leaves, flowers, all important. But the fruit is the culmination, the essence, the part that nourishes and satisfies. And this fruit is not just ripe, it is fully ripened, perfect, ready to be enjoyed. But there's more. This fruit has been made even sweeter by passing through the mouth of Shukadeva Gosvami, Shukamukhad Amrita Dravasayutam. Shukadeva was a liberated soul from birth. When he spoke the Bhagavatam, his realization, his love, his purity infused the words with transcendental nectar. And we are invited, Pibata, to drink, not just once, muhu repeatedly, again and again. This is the teaching. The Bhagavatam is the essence of all Vedic knowledge, made sweet by realization, and it satisfies completely when tasted repeatedly with devotion. Now let us look at some modern scientific parallels. This ancient metaphor has interesting parallels in modern understanding of human experience. First, consider research on optimal experience and intrinsic rewards. Psychologists have found that activities which are intrinsically rewarding, meaningful, engaging, aligned with our values provide lasting satisfaction. In contrast, activities that provide only extrinsic rewards, money, status, pleasure, leave us wanting more. They don't truly satisfy. The Bhagavatam is described as Rasam Alayam, the reservoir of spiritual taste. It satisfies at the deepest level. Second, consider aesthetic experience. There's a difference between entertainment and art. Entertainment distracts, art transforms. Entertainment leaves you empty, art leaves you fulfilled. The Bhagavatam is not entertainment, it is the highest art transcendental literature that nourishes the soul. Third, modern psychology recognizes that meaning transcends pleasure. We can be pleased without being fulfilled. We can be entertained without being satisfied. True fulfillment comes from meaning, purpose, connection with something greater than ourselves. The Bhagavatam provides this. It is the ripened fruit, fully nourishing, completely satisfying. Let us now move on to some practical application as it relates to this verse. How do we apply this teaching in our daily lives? First, seek experiences that nourish deeply, not just entertain superficially. We live in an age of endless entertainment. streaming services, social media, games, news, content. But how much of it truly satisfies? How much of it leaves you feeling nourished rather than drained? The verse invites us to cultivate taste for what truly fulfills. Second, distinguish between pleasure and fulfillment. Pleasure is momentary, fulfillment is lasting. Pleasure comes from the senses, fulfillment comes from the soul. The Bhagavatam offers fulfillment, not just pleasure. Third, drink repeatedly muhur. This is crucial. You don't read the Bhagavatam once and check it off your list. You return to it again and again. Each time you read, you taste something new. Each time you hear, you understand more deeply. Each time you contemplate, you are nourished further. And finally, become rasika and bhavuka, expert in spiritual taste and thoughtful in devotion. Develop your capacity to appreciate transcendental literature. Cultivate your spiritual palate. This takes practice, but the reward is complete satisfaction. Now, let us look at how this verse can help our young people. For young people, here's a relatable way to understand this verse. Think about video games or apps or content you consume. Some are addictive but empty. They hook you with clever design, but they don't truly satisfy. You play for hours and feel hollow. Others are deeply satisfying. They challenge you, they inspire you, they leave you feeling enriched. The difference is quality versus quantity, depth versus distraction. This verse teaches you to develop taste for what truly nourishes. Don't just consume whatever is trending. Don't just follow what everyone else is doing. Seek the ripened fruit. Seek what satisfies at a deep level. The Bhagavatam is that fruit. It's not easy, it's not flashy, but it nourishes in a way that nothing else can. Quality over quantity, depth over distraction, fulfillment over entertainment. Now let us look at how this verse can help our older generation folks. For those with more life experience, this verse speaks to something you already know. You have learned through experience the difference between what entertains and what fulfills. You've pursued many things in life, some satisfied temporarily, some left you empty, and perhaps a few truly nourished your soul. This discernment is precious. It's the fruit of your experience. The verse invites you to share this wisdom with younger generations. They are surrounded by distractions. They are offered endless entertainment. They need guidance to distinguish between the ripened fruit and the empty shell. You can provide that guidance, not by preaching, but by example. Show them what it looks like to drink deeply from the Bhagavatam. Show them what it looks like to be satisfied at the soul level. And for yourself, at this stage of life, you have the wisdom to fully appreciate the ripened fruit. Drink deeply, repeatedly, muhur, until you are completely absorbed in this transcendental nectar. In conclusion, we can say, verse 1.1.3 of the Srimad Bhagavatam offers us the ripened fruit of all knowledge. Not raw, not bitter, not unripe, but perfectly matured, sweetened by realization, ready to nourish completely. We are invited to drink. Not just once, again and again. This is not a burden, this is not a duty, this is an invitation to complete satisfaction. The fruit is ripe, the nectar is flowing, the invitation is extended. Will you drink? Thank you for exploring verse 1.1.3 with me. Thank you, Namaste, and Mahalo for joining me in this exploration of Canto 1, Chapter 1, Verse 3. The ripened fruit of knowledge. Next, we will move on fourth verse of Chapter 1 of Canto 1.